Beaumont, coming to you from Cape Spear, Newfoundland. Well, thanks. And I mean, are you always here? No.
Let's pause for a moment and remember I'm in the back seat with Alan Hocko.
You know that one, the one that fired over on
True.
Yes.
Yes, to land this Mr. Walter Gretzky. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm thrilled standing beside you.
Wow.
Take two.
Just go ahead and pinch me. Go on now.
They're crafted to twin 48-foot wooden schooners, the traditional kind.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Beaumont. Welcome to See&Be Seen, the show that celebrates all the people, places, and things that make the 4 Atlantic provinces so very special. From Nova Scotia to New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island to Newfoundland and Labrador, we take you to where the action is. And on this show, we're giving credit where credit is due, literally. See, when Bell Alliant gave me the green light to do this show for Community One, I'd already been celebrating Canada's East Coast online for a little over 2 years. So those opening clips you see at the top of the show, well, those were features produced for cnbseen.com. So in this episode, we're gonna flash back to those awesome moments and bring you up to speed on what's happening with those fine folks right now. Plus, we're gonna give you a sneak peek into an awesome adventure we're gonna have in New Brunswick coming up later in the summer. We've got some free stuff and much more. So let's get started with a lady who's used to coming first, to topping the charts and touring the world. Fortunately for us, we caught up to her when she was home in Spring Hill, Nova Scotia.
Welcome.
Well, thanks. And I mean, are you always here? No.
No. This is a special week for me.
Yeah.
On Saturday of this week, we celebrate, well, that's the week. We celebrate 22 years of the Anne Murray Centre at Spring Hill.
Did it go by in a blink? No.
No.
Okay.
There was a lot going on in 22 years. I was
Right.
pretty busy, but
Yeah, no doubt.
But we're meeting and greeting the fans. I do it once a year here at the center, and sign things, sign books, and sign albums and CDs, whatever is available.
You give the people what they want.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I like to. I've had a lot of people be very good to me.
You've made it a promise that you've always come back to Nova Scotia. You know, at CNBC we celebrate the 4 Atlantic provinces, and you've been everywhere in the world, but this place is in your heart.
Well, I mean, this is where I was born and raised, and I have a place here now and have had for many years. So I spend 3 months of the year in Nova Scotia.
Is it 3 months? Is that
3
true?
months, yes, I do. I spend July, August, and September here.
Good golfing months, Anne.
Yeah, very good. And it's, as you know, the best weather in the Maritimes
That's right.
is that time of year, and it works out just great for me.
So wonderful to meet that amazing lady, and you can do the same when she makes her annual visit to the Anne Murray Centre in Spring Hill, Nova Scotia on Saturday, July the 27th, 2013. For more info, head to their website. It's www.annemurraycentre.com. Of course, you'll find that full interview along with some other fantastic features on Ms. Murray on our site, including her cool people profile, in which she shares her favorite spot to golf in Nova Scotia, the Northumberland Links in Pugwash. That's quite an endorsement. Very cool indeed.
This next feature is a tremendous example of what I like to call one of our most serendipitous moments here on See&Be Seen, when the forces of nature came together, if you will, to celebrate one of Canada's biggest shows. And it was just starting out then, and it was the moment that I had first met Mr. Alan Hocko. When we arrived on set, it was pouring rain, and fortunately for me, the only dry spot was the back seat of the GTO.
Let's pause for a moment and remember I'm in the back seat with Alan Hocko.
Okay, now we're moving along. So many actors, whether they, maybe if they grew up in Los Angeles or California, they're looking at leaving.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, okay, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna move it and I'm gonna make it in the big place. Did you ever imagine you could be this successful in your home province?
Well, I mean, I moved away in '97, went to National Theatre School in Montreal, and I lived there for 3 years, and then I moved to Toronto. But I always spent sort of half and half between Toronto and St. John's, and the dream was certainly to be able to work, just to make a living and live in your hometown and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it would happen that way, so I got to be honest, I feel pretty lucky that I get to have that opportunity. I mean, honest to God, it's completely living the dream. People ask me if, I want to go to Hollywood or whatever. I want to go to Holyrood with your mother.
Oh, there you go.
It was already one of my favorite interviews of all time, and then this happened.
Well, listen, can I just tell you, I feel like I'm dreaming. I don't mind saying, Alan Hocko, we thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
He's the dreamiest, and I'll say the success of the show has gone beyond his wildest dreams. Having just been renewed for a 5th season on CBC, Republic of Doyle can now be seen in over 96 markets around the world. Huge, too, is the fact that they just got picked up for broadcast in the U.S. We've been lucky enough to chat with Mr. Hocko again many times over the years, including our on-set chat during the CNBC Behind the Scenes of Doyle special we broadcast here in January. We'll look forward to catching up to that amazing man when production starts up again for season 5, and we wish him continued success. I gotta tell you, it couldn't happen to a nicer fella.
Our next featured clip was another on-set visit with another one of our favorite NL fellas, but right here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, where this hour has 22 minutes shoots every week. And Mark Critch, well, he makes me laugh, and my sides hurt when we finish this one.
The A-frame, that she knows that one, the one that Clara doing out that bill.
Talk to me about what it was like growing up. I mean, did you ever imagine this? Like, did you say, I'm going to be a comedian and I'm going to go all over the world and I'm going to entertain people?
Well, actually,
what was the goal?
I was in the 1st grade, and there was a show called Wonderful Grandband that would come on CBC.
Yes, yeah.
With,
Ron Hines was in that.
Yeah, and Tommy Sexton and Greg Malone did the comedy. And I remember being in the 1st grade watching that and going like, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And ever since then, I kind of knew that's what, and that's kind of is exactly what I do now. And the great thing about that is, local artists on the East Coast, them doing it, being guys from St. John's, they were on TV, and that was the same as any other show when you're flipping around in that 3-channel universe back then.
Right.
But so it seemed like it was possible.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you can do that.
Yes.
And so myself and Majumder, guys like us, our generation, before that, people thought like, oh, you can't, you're not going to be on national television like from Newfoundland. But then the Codco guys and the Wonderful Grandband guys, they opened that door for us where it just seemed like, oh yeah, you can do that. If you try and go for it, it's not ridiculous.
No.
So yeah, so we had it easy.
And great place to grow up.
Great place to grow up.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. And no, I still live there.
Yeah.
I would never live anywhere else.
Okay, and so you're commuting back and forth.
Yeah, all the time.
And then you're all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. John. That's my airline pilot or flight attendant.
Right. Okay.
Welcome to St. John's International Airport. What do you feel when you're landing? What's that? How are you feeling?
Oh, pretty well. The first thing is like generally you walk out, the cab guys are there. Like, what are you at, Mark? Back, are you? All right.
Yes,
And they know where I live, and like it's like everything to stay where. And it's just great. It's like right away you're home, and everything else is. You can't get an ego in Newfoundland. You can't get. Nobody really cares what you do.
That's not
true.
true.
It's true. It's like, oh, what are you at?
My mom does in Holyrood, Newfoundland. Just say
Holyrood, hooray for Holyrood, that razzle dazzle town of Holyrood. She should open. You guys should get together.
She is gonna lose her mind.
Planet Holyrood. That's what you should open. You're meeting all these Newfoundlanders
I like that
Hocko.
idea.
You get Hocko's GTO
like-
car in the front.
There's
You could
a
have the
place that we-
actual Rex Murphy skull when he dies. You could have like a giant skull and fill it with candies. And you could have like Gordon Pinsent in a glass case. And people could come in like stuffs, get Gordon stuff. I'm the rowdy man. And you know what? That would be awesome. And
like
I'll
a
come.
motion sensor when you walk by.
Yes, yeah. It'd be like, I'm rowdy. I'm rowdy.
Wow.
That'd be good. You see, Planet Holyrood, open it up, Mom, for God's sakes. Holyrood, I used to go to Holyrood all the time. Yeah, because Kevin Lewis, Holyrood's first paperboy, was my theatre arts teacher, and David Doyle, who I went to school with, is Holyrood royalty. Because Clara Doyle and Jerry Doyle and all that, and Grandma Doyle is out there living in the A-frame. She knows that one, the one that Clara Doyle and all that built. Yes, it is, Mom knows. I'm talking to your mother.
Oh, okay.
And you know that one, sure, I used to go through all that crowd. I know it's all that crowd of Doyles and Lewises, like that. And, all kinds of crowd.
Well, there you go. All right, Mark, this is awesome. Thank you.
Is Mom single? What's the deal with Mom? Is she? Well, I'm picturing you in a few years. It's all right if she held up. is she?
See what I mean? He's a riot. Mark and his funny friends will be back for another side-splitting season this fall. And if you find yourself in Nova Scotia, you should attend a Halifax taping of 22 Minutes for the finest kind of time. We'll be catching up with Mark in the next episode of CNBC TV because he's hosting the Atlantic Business Magazine's Top 50 CEOs of the Year. He's promised to tell us about his brand new sitcom and once again, get me laughing. Time to take our first break here, but don't go anywhere because there's still lots more show to go with George Canyon, Walter Gretzky, Danny Williams, Jason Priestley, and an all-new chat with the Once. We'll be right back. Welcome back to CNBC.
When you're celebrating Canada's East Coast, well, there's never a dull moment. And for so many of the stars, they are constantly flat out busy. When we caught up to George Canyon, he had just flown in from a movie set to host the East Coast Music Awards in Prince Edward Island. He was running, if you will, backstage, and I grabbed him to talk about this new aspect of his career, acting.
Wow.
Sorry, it's
Take
gonna
two.
be a long shoot. Yeah.
Mr. Tussler, can I talk to you about something?
Isn't that what we're doing?
Wow! Hey, Emmy, superstar, host of the night, George Canyon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm preparing for a movie role, and I seriously am.
Is that true?
That's why I'm not shaved. That's why my hair is slicked back. There's a movie role that I actually got my first movie role in a major motion. I start shooting
up,
tomorrow.
George. Is it true? What's it called? What are you
It's called
doing?
A Mile in His Shoes. I play a curmudgeon of an old guy. Not an old guy, but a curmudgeon. I'm a dad.
Impossible.
I play a dad of an 18-year-old boy with autism, and it's just it's a heartbreakingly feel-good, wonderful family movie, and I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Now, George, are you good at memorizing? Like, that would be
Terrible.
what are you gonna do?
I've been just about pooping my pants every day. I'm sitting in the hotel room between all this stuff, and I'm going through lines, and I'm running lines. Like I've had roles before in my life, and different things I've done, Trailer Park Boys, all things like. Never.
But this is
big
a starring
movie.
role.
And
yes?
never a big movie, never third lead, never anything like that. And so I'm
Is
freaked
there a
out.
wife? Like, do you have like a
Yeah,
hot-looking wife you can tease the star?
I have a hot-looking wife.
I know
She's
you
at
do in
home.
real life.
I
I
wish
know
I
he
could
doesn't.
see her.
Aw.
That would help a lot. I don't know who's playing Molly. That's my wife. Dean Cain, Superman.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing Murphy, one of the characters. Luke or Lucas, I can't remember which one he goes by. Schroeder, Ricky Schroeder's son. He's playing my son, the 18-year-old boy with autism. And I mean, there's.
So now, what's the timeline? Like, it's a major motion picture, made for TV movie. What are we looking
TV
at?
movie.
Okay.
It's I'm not allowed to talk about where it's going and how all that's working,
Fair
but I'm
enough.
allowed to tell the title. I'm allowed to kind of talk about my character.
Oh, that's so exciting!
Very, but lots of people are going, why isn't George shaved? Why is George's hair slicked back?
He's very unkempt.
And I'm just
I like it. It's
I'm
rugged.
trying to.
You're very rugged.
Yeah,
hey?
well, we're trying.
Okay, now George, just give me like one line. Just pick a line from the dialogue you've learned so far. Just give me something. Look right into the camera and deliver with seriousness now. I'll try not to giggle.
You have to say the line before.
Okay, give me something.
Which is, Mr. Tussler, can I talk to you about something?
Okay.
Hang on, I got a character.
Okay, and am I a boy or a girl? Just tell me.
You're a Murphy, the guy.
I'm Murphy, a boy. Okay.
Mr. Tussler? Can I? Wow. Okay.
Sorry, it's
Take
gonna
two.
be a long shoot. Yeah.
Mr. Tussler? Can I talk to you about something?
Isn't that what we're doing?
Wow. Hey, Emmy.
I can't.
I say
can't do
Emmy.
it without
George
laughing.
Canyon, you rock.
I can't do it without
Congratulations
laughing.
on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, but I don't know. What's
I
gonna
can't
happen.
wait. Thank you for talking to us tonight. Get back. I think
pleasure.
you've got lots of stuff to do, eh?
Actually, now I'll have to go and do what I'm normally used to doing, which is play music.
Nice, and we'll look forward to
It's
that.
a comfort zone.
George Canyon.
He's such a talented guy. As always, his musical career is going great guns. His tune Saddle Up just won the ECMA Video of the Year award, and George has been busy touring his Classics 2-disc. He certainly put his dramatic skills to good use in the video for Poncho and Lefty with Jim Cuddy. And since our interview and the airing of A Mile in His Shoes, George has shared the screen with New Brunswick-born Hollywood legend Donald Sutherland in Dawn Rider, and he's currently filming The Virginian, co-starring fellow country artist Trace Atkins in the title role. And how about this for cool? George plays an F-35 pilot in the much-anticipated Superman blockbuster, Man of Steel. You can look for him when it hits theaters June 14th.
We'll look forward to seeing George in that role and look forward to going to Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. They'll once again be hosting the East Coast Music Awards in 2014. It's always a great event, so hope to see you there. Hey, and speaking of great events, the Walter Gretzky CNIB Invitational Golf Tournament is one that raised millions of dollars, and meeting up with Mr. Gretzky, well, that's a moment I will always cherish. A great one, to be sure.
Mr. Walter Gretzky, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm thrilled standing beside you.
I'll pay you later. But listen, you come back to Nova Scotia every year for this wonderful tournament, the CNIB. First of all, millions and millions of dollars. Why do you do it?
Well, it all started 20-something years ago when Wayne met two visually impaired students at the airport, and he went over to talk to them, and one of them interrupted him, totally visually impaired, and said, I know who you are. You're Wayne Gretzky, aren't you? And it was 12:30 at that night. We're sitting at the kitchen table. Wayne was so impressed. This boy not only knew who he was, he knew everything about him, totally visually impaired. The boy was from Halifax, Nova Scotia. His name was Stephen Lindquist. We found out who he was. He lives in Ontario now. I haven't seen him, but that's where he is. And I remember Wayne saying, you know what I should do, Dad? Phone a few of my friends, have a little tennis tournament, raise a few dollars for the CNIB. Here we are, $3 million and 28 years later or something. We're still going.
Now, I love that you come to Nova Scotia, and you're a golfer. I know that because I've been reading up on you.
Oh, yeah.
How does the Chester Golf Course suit you?
It's beautiful. It's designed. It's incredible.
Now, CNBC, and our goal is to market the 4 Atlantic provinces to the world. You and your family, did you ever come to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island,
Just
Newfoundland?
myself. Wayne's been here many times, of course, as you know, and I have. The rest of my family haven't. Like my son Keith and Glenn, they've both been here.
And they like it.
Oh, everybody does. Well, the people are so friendly, so wonderful here. Truly is very noticeable how friendly the people here are in the East compared to the West.
Well, we don't want to disparage them, but I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And like at home in Ontario, a stranger's afraid to talk, say hi to another stranger. But here, everybody speaks to each other. There's no such thing as a stranger. You're very comfortable with everyone.
Now, how about the seafood, Mr. Gretzky? Are you a seafood fan?
Oh, I could eat it, and eat it, and eat it, and eat it, and eat it.
Do you have a favorite restaurant or anything around here? Do you get any downtime?
Just every restaurant's a favorite for me.
Nice, very good. Well, we appreciate all the work you do, and I know all the funds that you raise at these tournaments stay in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me here, and thank you on behalf of the CNIB for helping.
God bless you.
Thank you.
What a gentleman. And while we're on the subject, I loved meeting Mr. Danny Williams.
Just go ahead and pinch me. Go on now. That's Danny Williams. No, former Premier Danny Williams, and now President and CEO of the St. John's Ice Caps. How are you?
I'm great. I couldn't be happier, actually. I found another life, and it's great. It's hockey, of course, and business are loves of mine from a long way back, so it couldn't be better.
Well, is that your favorite title? Like, I mean, you've had a lot.
Yeah, I just like being involved with the team. Like, the titles are not important, but it's being involved with a hockey team, again, for me, is a real high, and it's a rebirth. I mean, actually, one of the guys, the announcer who we just hired, said it's a rebirth for him too. It's like he's got a whole new life, and that's the way I feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love to shop, so I've always dreamed about owning a store, and I know that you're a huge hockey player, so has this always been a dream?
Well, it has. I was involved with the Leafs when they were here, but I was on the board of directors and I was appointed by the city, so we were there in a different capacity. Now, we don't own the team, but we're leasing it, and hopefully down the road we'll get a franchise for St. John's sooner or later. So this is a first step along that road, but it's great. We've got full control of this. We're organising it, and we've got great support from the fans and from the corporate sponsorships.
Right.
And our job now is to put a good game night product together and put a great team on the ice there, and that's what we hope to do.
Take it from me, it's so much fun at Mile 1. What a treat it was to chat with Mr. Williams, and what an honor it has been to be able to sing the anthems before a couple of Ice Caps games now. You can catch our full interview along with my first performance of the U.S. and Canadian national anthems at an Ice Caps game, plus lots more coverage of Atlantic Canada's AHL team on our site.
It's always such a thrill to do the anthems, a little nerve-wracking, but I'm really happy that Danny Williams gave me the opportunity. Now, sometimes, and I know things look smooth here, really, always organized, always slick, CNBC TV. Sometimes, however, there's been the odd technical difficulty. And that's probably how I would best describe my first meeting with Mr. Jason Priestley.
First, let me say I was incredibly excited. CNBC was brand new, and here we were on our way to Windsor for a premiere screening party of Call Me Fitz, starring the Jason Priestley. Jason, along with his lovely wife Naomi, and the rest of the cast and crew were there. They're in Windsor because the HBO Canada hit shot in that area, and so great, right? I mean, come on. I was gonna interview Jason Priestley. That interview alone would launch my little website onto the international radar. Only problem was my regular camera guy Steve was unavailable that night, and the sub, well, let's just say he had some issues. Oh sure, I'm smiling it up there, but when I got home to find out that the microphone wasn't plugged in right and all we had was wild sound off the camera, I was crying. What are you gonna do about it though? There you have it. I did manage to get a hug from Mr. Priestley, and it was so great to have met him. I still have my fingers crossed he's gonna be back in Nova Scotia this summer to direct another episode of Haven. It's shooting along the South Shore, and that's in my neck of the woods, so I've got my eyes peeled for Mr. Priestley. That sweet music is being made by amazing NL band, The Once. We've got an all-new chat coming up with those lovely folks right after the break, but before we head there, I want to hand out some free stuff. I've got a signed copy of their award-winning debut disc if you can answer the following question. Which British supergroup first sang this tune, You're My Best Friend? When you've got your best guess, head to our website, www.cnbscene.com, click on the TV Free Stuff box, and submit your answer. Good luck to ya, and we'll be right back with more CNB Scene.
I've been with you such a long time. You're my sunshine, and I want you to know that my feelings are true. I really love you. You're my best friend.
That's a little Atlantic Ocean therapy. I love coming here to clear my mind. This is Bayswater Beach along the Aspatagan coastal route. And those waves, oh, I love it. I gotta tell you. I also love trivia. And one of the fun things we did on CNBScene.com was how well do you know your homeland? We played a great round for Newfoundland and Labrador with one of their greatest exports, The Once.
Name the Newfoundland town that NASA recognizes as the only place in Canada.
Stephenville.
Yes, to land the space shuttle, Phil. Now that's infotainment. And for our first time meeting, they were awesome sports. I've loved watching and listening to The Once over the years and interviewing them whenever their busy schedules permit. And as luck would have it, on my last trip to St. John's, we were able to catch up for a chat and around at one of their favorite spots. What did you guys do with Andrew Dale?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who's the bearded fella beside me?
I don't know. The grizzly man just showed up one day. I think he ate Andrew.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, they
All
really...
that's left of him is in this beard.
Come on. That's made for another episode. Now listen, I want to introduce them, but they really need no introduction because we love them. We talk about you guys all the time on the site. But Andrew Dale, the lovely Geraldine Hollett, and Philip Church down there at the end. Phil, how are you today now?
I'm doing well. I'm very well.
Is that true?
Yeah, it really is. I'm having a great day.
You know what's funny? Yeah, and he's got his thespian, and that was a word we used in our first interview.
That's right.
But Phil, you're acting right now. Like we literally ripped you away from a set. Is that a fair assessment?
Like right now, he's actually
pretty much. I'm acting right now. This is it. Yeah. I've got a rehearsal after this for a short film, so I'm gonna tread the boards again for a little bit. Yeah, it feels good.
I like it because that's how the three of you met. If I recall correctly, you were all acting.
Full circle.
And it's like an Oprah moment here at the interval. Hey, what?
Oh, good. I love Oprah.
I do too. I do too. I think Jerry and I should get together and just hang out.
I'm cool with that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'll pay you later. No. But listen, I have to tell you, because when we first met, the four of us, I won't say it was the beginning of your career, but certainly things were just on their way up. And now we meet, like it's almost 3 years later. I don't know if your mantles are big enough. I know you've toured all over the world. Is that right? You're doing the math on that. You're thinking that's too long?
3 years is crazy.
It's
no,
true.
it's probably
It's
right.
true.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And what's happened to you? Tons of awards, tours around the world, a fantastic album.
But I still don't have a mantle.
Is that true?
No,
Where do you
yeah.
put your awards then?
Well, on their mantle. I don't. I actually don't have a mantle. It's something I'm working towards.
He's mantleless.
Want to get
Hey, you need to get handier.
just enough success so I can actually live in a place that has a mantle.
All right, good enough. All right. So, how are you feeling now? Can you just put a word? Like, I mean, is it dreams come true? Is it like good? Well,
Good.
a little more than that now.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil the other day was playing guitar and like learning a song and laughed. And I could hear him laugh out in the other room. He was like, "This is my job."
I just had that feeling of like, oh man, you got to put this thing down and quit screwing around and go get some stuff done.
Right.
And then it dawned on me that this is the stuff I'm supposed to be getting done. I'm doing it. I actually got up early for work.
Nice.
Yeah, it felt good.
Oh, beautiful. Something about your shows, it's that story and song together that makes it so effective, and it affects the audience in a way that I'm sure, I mean, you must get that energy back from everywhere. Would you say? Like,
yeah, and sometimes we're really tired because we've been traveling a long time.
Yeah.
We'll get into telling the stories at a show, and their response livens us up again.
Yeah.
And we just feel like right there in the moment.
I feel like it first kind of started out as, because we weren't really sure of what we were doing. And none of us had really played like this before. And I know personally, the story was almost making an excuse for something that came up after. It's like, if you don't get the song or if you don't really like it or whatever, I'm just going to kind of, explain it all beforehand, and hopefully that'll make you kind of accept it a little bit more. So it starts off in that way, and then, after a year of playing, people start mentioning the stuff that you do in between songs before they mention the songs themselves. And then you kind of realize that, okay, that's part of it. Because for a long time we used to tell each other, okay, tonight, shut up, just play.
That's right.
Like,
And then it's not the same kind of show.
No.
And we don't feel the same.
No doubt.
It's also the difference of actually seeing someone live versus just putting the record on.
Right.
You've just got to see the Once play live. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll have the finest kind of time. I love those three kids something fierce, and I loved meeting the proprietor, Linda Hannaberry. If you're ever in St. John's down Kitty Vitty Way, you must stop in for a pint at the Inn of Old and get one of Linda's great stories while you're there. Another must-do we've got slated for this summer is a trip to New Brunswick's welcoming town of St. Andrews by the Sea for a stay at the historic Algonquin Inn. They're adding a new chapter to its legacy. Inspired by old-world charm, they're rebuilding modern luxury. From the new patio rooms to the world-class golfing to the delicious dining and brand new indoor pool with 3-story water slide, we're counting down the days to our stay. We'll give you more on the Algonquin leading up to our visit, and in the meantime, you can head to www.algonquinresort.ca to see what's in store for this castle by the sea. If you'd like to watch this show again or see any episode of CNB Scene, head to www.bellalliant.net. They're all there, on demand. And if you'd like to watch today's featured interviews in their entirety, head to our site. It's www.cnbscene.com.
That's going to do it for this show. Thank you so much for joining us here on CNBC TV. We'll see you next time for another great adventure. Next time, I'm getting hip waders. I'm serious.